सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We've seen up to verse 16, 17.
यो न विष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति
शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः। He who neither rejoices nor hates, nor grieves nor desires, renouncer of good and evil, he who is full of devotion is dear to me. Almost every verse he is saying, he is dear to me, he is dear to me, he is dear to me. In verse 17 and 18, Krishna is talking about the pairs of opposites, the dvandvas. How a bhakta transcends the pairs of opposites. And he gives various examples for that. These two verses, 17 and 18, is a combination where you transcend the opposite. There's a significance of Ganesha, with one tusk. It's broken. Weird one. As a picture, if you see, even if you consider someone has his imagination created the picture of Ganesha. His imagination is extraordinary. I'm not saying there is a person Ganesha there. Even if you take it as just a picture, anyone who has that basic sense of painting, aesthetics. I've been getting a lot of them, commenting about the background. Isn't it? All of you. What is it, sir? Sir, that, the screen is off. It's why? See, either you sit in the center of the screen or have two screens. One this side, one that side. Then it makes sense. Isn't it? Only then it will have that, equation. Otherwise, there's no, it's all distorted. Now, when you paint Ganesha, elephant, tusk is there. Put two tusks, no. Only then it's proper. Otherwise, it's not. Those who decorate the house, they see this. They say, sir, if you have a flower vase this side, you have to have one this side also. Only then it is pleasing. You have only one this side, one is empty this side. Now, it won't look nice. So keep two. What does it mean? There is a aesthetic sense, but Ganesha has no aesthetic sense. One tusk broken. But we are not, painting for aesthetics. This is a concept captured in painting. The idea of perfection is captured in painting. That's Ganesha. You see, what is your concept? That is why they broke one tusk. Is standing there. And of course, along with that, they will give stories. Why he broke the tusk, when he broke the tusk. All stories will come. That is a separate one. See? But everywhere you see. Why do you put, elephant head? Put, one. Okay, head transplant. Now we do heart transplantation. Now immediately our fellows see. In Vedic time itself, we had, transplantation techniques. So, our religion is very scientific. Our ancient, and another group says, no, religion are wrong. Indians are very scientific, sir, those days. Paithyam. What to tell? Madness. They have moved one step above science. We are pulling them down to the level of science. Huh? That's what Vivekananda says. Where science stops, religion begins. Where science stops, religion begins. Don't pull them here. Every discipline we have here, we have to give explanation connected to our physical wellness. Because you live only for a body, no? You can't think of anything beyond body. You have to connect it to body. In those days, they said when you go to barber shop, you used to go get haircut done. No? You come back, you are not allowed to enter the house. Straight. You have to go. Then you go to death, have shower and then come. Why? Because some germ may be there. That may infect you. You may infect that. And then everybody gets infected. Then everybody dies. You better die than to interpret everything only to your physical. I'm not saying that nothing is connected to physical. There are a few things connected to physical, but don't try to interpret everything for your physical well-being. These disciplines were not given to you. These practices were not developed. The system is not developed for your spiritual well-being. It is developed for your physical. It is for spiritual. It's not for your physical. And that doesn't mean they don't care about physical. Of course, they pay some attention just to maintain it. That's enough. More than that, don't pay attention to it. It's like how much of importance to be given to the selection of the canvas for painting. Go down and see. A lot of paintings are there. You need a good canvas. But just because you have a good canvas doesn't mean you will do good painting. The skill of painting has got nothing to do with the quality of the canvas provided to the painter, isn't it? They are two different things. But of course, final outcome of the painting will be dependent on the quality of the canvas also. But when you go to art class, painting session, painting class, how much time they teach, how long they spend to teach you about the canvas, vis-a-vis strokes. I remember I enrolled for a painting course. I did for 1 week and stopped because the teacher, I had one fantastic art teacher in school. My school is a legendary person, yes, at least for us. Amazing. Yes. He said, hey, if you guys want to learn, you come to me. I'll teach you. Not tuition, after class, after school, He'll say, come, I'll teach you. I'll show you how to hold, how to do all those things and all that, strokes and all that I'll teach. Because one class a week, he said, one class a week, no way I can teach painting. You can appreciate, that's all. I can teach you how to appreciate painting, but you will not be able to paint. Drawing, basically drawing first. He said, you should know to draw first, then you can go for painting. First thing he told me was 1 week, he said, do two things. Draw a circle and straight line. So he will call one by one. In fact, I didn't draw. He rejected me. 1 week you are supposed to practice, come to the blackboard and he'll give a chalk piece. You have to do two things. And one circle and one straight line. If you can draw a circle and a straight line, I'll take you. I miserably failed. Like, egg like. It's not circle. It takes so much of effort to learn the strokes, not the canvas, not painting. Same way, spiritual is going even beyond your mind and intellect. See, even if you tune your mind and intellect, also you have not yet become spiritual. Remember, even if you have a very good mind and a good intellect, also doesn't make you a spiritual personality. You have to transcend the mind and intellect. That's where the opposites come. The world will influence. What? Because world is made up of opposites. Everything in life is opposites. Day, night. You can never understand day without night. You can never understand profit without loss. You can never understand good without bad. All your idea of good will be with reference to what you consider as bad. Isn't it? What you treat as bad is the reference point. So anything you take in life, tall. I had a colleague from US, Keith Belcher. He will go for jogging in the academy, carrying two boulders. That's his physique. Like in Mahabharata, we have heard, when Bhima gets angry, he will uproot a tree and start hitting people. That's the strength of Bhima. I've seen Keith Belcher doing it, not hitting anyone, He transplanted a tree, not a planter, tree. He said, I need someone to help me. I said, I'll come and help you. I didn't know for what he is calling. I said, yeah, I'll come, man. He said, don't worry, I'll come. He looked up and down. I said, anyway, okay, come. I went. He said, we are going to remove this tree and put it there. I said, what? Because the trees were not in straight line, not straight. So Swamiji said, it should come in straight line. So they're all, dismantled. What to do? He was asking. And Keith, offered. Said, Swamiji, I know how to do that. There is a way of doing it. Everyone can't do it. I'll do it. Swamiji said, okay, do it. Then he said, I need someone to help. I said, I'll come and help you. This fellow, he will, dig all around and then hold the tree and shake. The tree will shake. It's a grown one, It will shake, actually. My assistance to him was, how much it is shaking? More than that, I can't help him. That's his strength is, unbelievable strength. He used to say, his brothers used to call him Chotu. Tease him, it seems. Grow, man. I said, thank God they did not join the course. God, they are like, it's relative. You see, you can never fix what is strength. Oh, they are all very tall, sir. 5.4 is tall. He is very tall. In our house, somebody is telling, they're very tall she is. I asked, what's the height? I thought, 6'3", 6'5", something like that. 5.6. Because my father is 5.2. So for him, 5.6 is tall, no? Weird. What's the standard? You can never understand anything in life without the opposite. That is the law of life. The one who is able to transcend that, meaning the one who is not going to be impacted by the opposites, is a spiritual person. That captured as an image is Ganesha. Tusk broken. I'm not going into other aspects. Why elephant head? Why this? Why that? And all that you can see the symbolism. You can read there. So the same idea is explained in these verses also, 17 and 18. Na krishyati, na dveshti, na shochati, na kamshati. Now here the opposites pairs, what we have to take is na krishyati, na shochati. That's the pair. Same way. Na dveshti, na kamshati. No hatred, no desires. There's no hates, there's no dvesha to anything, nor there is a desire for anything. Na kamkshati. So this is a pair. Then Shubha Parityagi. Shubha and Ashubha. Tyagi, Parityagi. completely renounced. Renouncer of Shubha and Ashubha. Shubha, good, Ashubha, evil. So, Shubha Ashubha Parityagi is the renouncer of good and evil, the one who renounced all this. Renouncer of good and evil means, we'll go reverse now. Okay. Shubha, Shubham, Ashubham. Good and evil. What is good and what is evil? Any action that produces punya, good. Any action that produces papa, bad, evil. So when he says he has transcended good and evil, what he is referring to is punya and papa. What gives you punya? Because punya papa is a consequence. What produces that punya papa is your action. And does action produce punya papa? They say, no. It is not your action that produces punya papa. It is your sankalpa that produces punya and papa. It's your motive. It's your intention. It's not action that produces punya papa. If that is the case, a soldier killing in the war, you should be getting papa for that. But what is his intention? He has no personal vengeance towards that person. There's nothing. That is why we give them Paramveer Chakra. Single-handedly he killed, 200 people, sir. Paramveer Chakra. Next news you read, the same paper, the one who killed another person is sentenced to death. Hey, 200 fellows he killed. Paramveer Chakra. One fellow I killed. In fact, you should hang him 200 times. We don't do that, no. Why? Because of intention. So when he says Shubha Shubha Parityagi, what he is referring to is he neither carries good intention nor he carries a bad intention while performing action. Allah, you have to derive. What is that action, sir, where you neither have this nor have? How can you drop that? Essentially, when you carry the notion that I am the doer, you will have good and bad intention. So long as you believe I am the doer, so long as you carry that kartrutva, bhavana, while doing action, you will get punya or you will get papa, depending upon what is your intention. So when he says Shubha Shubha Parityagi, what he is referring to is he has renounced the sense of kartrutva buddhi. The doership is dropped. He has renounced the doership. See, that's the sankalpa. What is the sankalpa he has dropped? The kartrutva buddhi that he has dropped. That is how he transcended. If I am not the doer, then who is the doer? He says that's not my problem. If I am not the doer, it doesn't make any difference. Then who is the doer? Whether the senses are functioning by itself or this functioning by that self or prarabdha vasana you call it, or you call it as the design of nature, you call it as the wish of the Lord. He says, I don't care. That is not my problem. One thing for sure, what is it? I am not the one who is performing the action. Since I am not performing the action, there is no punya, papa. You see that? Yes.
So, if there is intention, either good or bad, but no action, will Punya and Papa still result because the Sankalpa is there, the intention is there? Or can it happen at all that you have intention but you don't act?
You get that punya and papa for the actions executed with the intention. When an action was not performed, only intention is there. You can't get punya or papa for that. There's neither punya nor papa. What you will get is vasana, desire. You get it? Little technical, okay? இது கொஞ்சம் டெக்னிக்கலாக இருக்கும். Those who follow can get it easily. There's nothing complex here. Right? There are certain times in life we have certain intentions. Certain thoughts come, but I don't speak it out. Okay. Oh, nicely, I'm taking a class. You're interrupting with a question. Oh, beautiful, I'm building this. Useless people don't have brains. This is what I'm thinking internally. Okay. Example. I don't mean it. Example. Okay. But I am not speaking it out. Okay. When I'm not speaking it out, action was not executed. Right? Punya or papa, consequences can come only after action. Remember, without action, consequence is not possible. That consequence for action is classified into two, drishta and adrishta. That's what they call drishta pala and adrishta pala. Adrishta is not luck. Most of us take it as adrishta to be luck, sir. Drishta is perceptible. Adrishta is not perceptible. So every pala that you get for action, bracketed in two sections: perceptible, imperceptible. So the perceptible, imperceptible is consequence. Consequence can come only after the performance of action. When I have not performed anything, see, sometimes not doing also will be amounting to doing. That also will have consequence, remember. You see, now that is not what we are referring to here. What we are referring to is, sir, I have a thought, I have an emotion, but that emotion was not expressed into action. What will happen then? Will I get punya or papa? A tremendous confusion amongst this Vedantic, all this karma, people who study karma, law of karma. No matter, you get the thought of stealing, you will get papa for that. It doesn't work like that. You see, you are not punished by punya papa, but you will be punished by your kama, your vasana. You will develop a tendency for stealing. You see that? The tendency for stealing, what it will do? Subsequently, it will manifest in action, no? Isn't it? But at that point of time, I have entertained that thought of stealing. Will I get punya for that or papa for that? Nah? Vedanta says no. No discussion of punya papa at that stage. At that stage, what is the discussion, sir? Are you developing a vasana or not? So adrishta has two dimensions. You can put a flow chart, it'll be easier. Right? Fruit, pala. Pala will have two. Drishta, adrishta. Adrishta has two. Drishta pala has two. What is it? Profit, loss, pain, pleasure, etc. All that opposites. This side, there are two aspects. What is it, sir? Vasana, punya papa. If you have allowed that thought to grossify into action, then adrishta pala will move in the direction of punya papa. Right? If the thought was not allowed to grossify into action, then drishta pala will be what? Drishta pala. Nothing. Because no action. Okay. I am talking to you. Drishta pala is what? Yeah, Ishwaran speaks well. Or you can say, Ishwaran talks nonsense. That's a visible one. Right? If I am not speaking, drishta pala will be what? None. But I have the thought of speaking. Then what will happen? Punya papa will not come, but vasana will get developed for speaking. Speaking vasana will get cultivated. Then what that vasana will do, once the vasana gets that sufficient strength, which is what Krishna somewhere he says, vega. Once it gets that sufficient speed, that power, it cannot stay unmanifest. It will force itself to manifestation, into action. Then what will happen? Drishta pala will come, adrishta pala also will come. The world may say, Ishwaran is doing some nonsense, he's a waste of time, etc. But I will be getting punya. Punya karma you get. For the very fact what? அதுதான் இங்க சுபாசுப பரித்யாகி. You appreciate the class. It means what? No kartrutva. I will explain the idea now. Okay, becomes a little easier. No doership, we say. No, what does it mean? This is what it means. When you are appreciating the class, when I am taking the class, when you appreciate the teaching, when you value me, I should understand what? I understand you are not valuing me. You have a value for this knowledge. Since this knowledge you are getting it through me, you are valuing me. Correct. When you are invalidating me, Ashubha is what? Nonsense, this fellow. Next time if he enters a house, you will get a beatings. Now, when you are being disrespectful towards me, I understand what? You are not being disrespectful towards me. You do not have respect for this knowledge. When you are respectful towards me, I understand that respect is not to me. The respect you have for the knowledge is directed towards me. When you are disrespectful towards me, what do I say? It's not me. You don't have respect for this knowledge. That disrespect that you carry for the knowledge, you are directing to me. Your respect or disrespect has got nothing to do with me. It is to do with whether you have value for the knowledge or not. What I have to do with it. That is what is known as no kartrutva bhava. Otherwise, just a concept. Just give no doership. What's the meaning of no doership? How do you understand that? This is how a bhakta transcends. Says this. You get it? Shubha, Ashubha, Parityagi. How is he able to drop it? Kartrutva he drops. Very simple. But for us it is sort of complex. For him it is very simple. Yeah, drop it. Big deal. How can you drop doership? Drop the whole thing, he says. Neither rejoices nor grieves. न हृष्यति न shochati. Does not rejoice, does not grieve. All that it means is no feeding likes and dislikes. It is not feeding his likes and dislikes. All that we do in life is what? Only two things. Do what you like, avoid what you don't like. As simple as that. You're coming and sitting in the class. Why? Because you like, you come and sit. The other person is not coming. Why he is not coming? Because he doesn't like. What difference does it make? Difference is you will be caught in the clutches of this Krishyati and Shochati. You will suffer. You will go through the fluctuations. One day you'll be jumping with joy, another day you'll sink with sorrow. One day your life will look, wow, everything superb, man. I am so blessed. Next day you will say what? Is it worth living? Why? Likes and dislikes. He has no time for all these things because his mind is totally occupied with God. There is a time for him to. So he doesn't care about all this. This suffering. No grief. There will be pleasure things happening in your life. There will be displeasures in your life. There will be moments of joy. There will be moments of sorrow. All this that you are encountering in life, he understands is the consequence of my past punya papa. If I have developed punya, if I have sufficient balance of punya, then I will have pleasure. If I have papa, then there will be pain. As simple as that. So, for my current experience of pleasure or pain, who is the cause? I am the cause, which is done in the past. Now I have nothing. Now can I go back and correct it? You cannot go back. That's why we say, a lot of them, I'm doing a regressive therapy. No, you do regressive. Okay, you found out. You are the one who murdered Cleopatra. Okay, you are the one who was Cleopatra in the last Janma. Okay, so So what? Hmm? I don't know. Somehow, whoever does the regressive therapy, I've seen, all of them say the same thing. There are some, royalties only. I don't know. Every one of them. No one has said, I am a foot soldier, I am a cobbler, I am a potter, nothing of that sort. Everybody is, royalties only. Okay, in last Janma, imagine that, in my last Janma, I was JRD Tata. He's no more, no? Okay, he died before my birth. I am, JRD Tata. Or, Tiger Vardachari, the great musician. Ishwaran in the last Janma was Tiger Vardachari. So, Kacheri Kubduitla. Will you call me to do Kacheri now? Hmm? What of it to you, man? Because you cannot bring anything from there. Now you can go back and make corrections unless you get a special watch. When you change the watch, you will go back to future, go back to the past. You correct there. What will happen? You cannot come back to the present. You will go come back to some other present, isn't it? Imagine I go back to the past. Not being political, but I'm just saying. I go back to the past. Somehow I have convinced Gandhiji to support Patel. If I want to come back to 2023, which India I will be in? Not this India. Right? You see the absurdity of the idea. Now you go back, you make any correction, your current present will not be the present. If you are to come back to the present, then it is not possible. So no point in going back and correcting. Even if I get a chance to go back and sit in the meeting, what I'm going to do there? Nothing can be done. Simply sit and say, come back. That a Bhakta understands. Yeah. Therefore, what? If you have taken birth as a human being, Ada Rama Avatar. You see. Next is Krishna Avatar. After Rama Avatar alone, Krishna Avatar is possible. It can never be the other way around. After Moses alone, Christ is possible. It cannot be ulta. We can never have Christ and then Moses. Impossible. It has to be what? Moses and then Christ. Same way, after Rama alone, Krishna possible. What is Avatar only? No. Now you cannot say Rama Avatar had Punya Papa. Correct? Rama, did he have Punya Papa with him? Avatar Purush. How can he have how can he have Punya Papa? See, when you take birth, you will bring your past karma. Correct? What is the past karma for Rama? Huh? What is his what is his balance? Nothing. Balance la kadayadu. Nothing. Zero. Or you have to say it is infinite. Infinite punya, infinite papa. Which is both you can't understand. Zero you can't understand. Infinity also you can understand. But the entire number system we understand, which is in between. Static puriyadu. End puriyadu. But then we say what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, mathematics. Very precise science. No precise science. Starting is nothing, end is. What do you understand in that? Either you say it is zero or you have to say it is infinite. Either case you can't understand. But then he also suffered, no? He also had grief. Can you believe? Previous day evening, a call in the assembly. Say, you are going to be the king. And he started all his, brothers and birth and rituals and everything. He started already. Early morning, he's getting a call saying, you are banished. Not even, you are not getting or postponed. Nothing. Just get out of the country. What a state he must be. Poor thing. Somehow, okay, he convinces and he goes into the forest. There. Now we all think, Sita was abducted by Ravana. Even before Ravana could abduct Sita, another fellow abducted Sita. You know that? Another Rakshasa abducted Sita before Ravana, but he got her back immediately. Now Ramayana we don't read properly. Yes. Abduct, and then you bring it back, and then he has to go and suffer here, suffer there, and go and find out from Sugriva, do this, do that. My God, so much of problem for. Okay, after that was he happy? Even after that also he is not happy. And also there's a lot of problems. Then suddenly people started talking bad about his wife and all that, so he has to banish his wife. And then all his life what? Grief, 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 grief. A bhakta understands what? If God were to come as a human being, he cannot escape grief. Even Krishna has to go through the problem of censure by his own people. Not Shishupala saying something about, Krishna. That's not what I'm talking about. His own people started suspecting Krishna. You can't trust him. You believe the fellow who gave his life, brought them from Mathura to Dwaraka, built a city and kept them safe. He simply said, you can't trust him. What? It's a tragedy. Has to suffer. You can't escape. Therefore, what? If he is susceptible for Shoka, what about me? Therefore, when Shoka comes, what he says? Doesn't matter. If Rama can do that, if Rama has to suffer, what is my problem? So he understands loss is a necessary part of life. You will lose. It's a necessary part. The one who you respected the most, you will lose respect. The one who you loved the most can become your enemy. A friend can become an enemy. It doesn't make any difference, he says. So he says, all this is coming out of my rejoice is coming from my punya, which I have done in the past. The sorrow that I'm getting is a consequence of my papa, which I have done in the past. So right now, what I have to do? Just go through it. So therefore, he's not affected by that. Na rishyati. When joy comes, he doesn't get into that. Oh, rishya means the haripulation, the hair standing on end. That, that is not there for him. Nor there is a shoga for him. Na dveshti, na kangshati. No desire. He neither desires nor hates. Hmm.
So, as per the Adrishta Phala charts, like we either create a Vasana or generate Punya Papa. So, if the spiritual effort is to not create Vasanas and not develop Papa, then the entire effort boils down to acquiring more and more Punya.
No,
Spiritual effort.
no. All adrishta pala you have to nullify. Not spiritual. Spiritual deals with adrishta. Spiritual does not deal with drishta. You don't need Vedas to come and teach you about drishta. See, okay, I'll give an absurd example, which is there in the Vedas itself. The Shastra itself gives that example. There is no necessity for a Shastra to come and tell you when you are hungry, eat. When you are sleepy, sleep. You have to say that. When you are hungry, automatically what you will do? If nothing is there, you will start eating the grass. You know that there's a football team.
That's right.
You remember that case
And these
that they got stuck in the mountains.
things.
They have to cook their playmate. They all got into that thing and they passed away after they got rescued. They got into the psychological problem. See, at that time, they did not feel anything. But when they were back to the society, I did that. None of them could digest. All of them passed away with the psychological disorder. See, that when you are hungry, eat. You don't require Shastra to come and tell you that. Then for what the Shastra is? This is a fundamental question we need to understand first. This is basic. Shastra is to direct you to something which is not visible, conceivable, understandable by you. Suppose if you take a position, sir, if it is not conceivable to me, it doesn't exist. If it is not visible to me, when I say me, I don't mean this person, I mean entire humanity. If it is not perceptible, if it is not available for conception by human beings, it doesn't exist. If you take that position, that is where we call him as atheist. For us, atheist is not someone who doesn't believe in God. A theist is not one who believes in God. Here they say, do you believe in the Veda or not? Not God. You're all with me? In the Abrahamic tradition, if you go, there if you ask who is a theist and who is an atheist, they ask, do you believe in God or not? Here we say, you believe in God, you don't believe. That's not our problem. Here the question is not about God. The question is, do you believe in the Shastra or not? If you believe in the Shastra, you are a theist, astika, or nastika. The word itself is very interesting here. Asti, it's there. Na asti, it's not there. What is not there? He say, what is not there? He is not saying God. No. What is not there? Anything which is not available for my perception, it's not there. Full stop. My perception can be through naked eyes or through gadgets. Doesn't matter. To my naked nose or through gadgets. To my naked tongue or through gadgets. Doesn't make any difference. That's how more refined equipments when we use, our ability to see gets better, isn't it? Microorganisms, we can't see, but when we bring a microscope, then what happens? We are able to see it. Now you can't say it doesn't exist. Why? Come, see. But atom, is it visible? But it is conceivable. How do we conceive? We infer the presence of atom. We are not seeing atom blasting. Who is seeing atom blasting? Nobody is seeing atom blasting. But we are able to infer the presence of atom. Okay. Now, what the scriptures, starting point of the scripture is, it says there are certain things which are beyond your perception and conception. Subject that is going to be dealing with that is called the Shastra. Right? That is spiritual. It's not perceptible. Don't expect. Now, immediately we think it is mystical. Immediately we say it is mythology. You see, no, you're completely off the track. In our system, there is neither mysticism nor mythology. Both doesn't belong to Eastern tradition. It is Western tradition which has that. That's why today we say Ramayana Mahabharata to be my mythology. I say, are you mad? Huh? Purana, mythology. We think Purana is mythology. Purana is not mythology. Then what is it, sir? Purana. Don't try to translate it. That's where the problem is. You see. But coming back to your issue, in the chart, when we say spiritual, we are not referring only to reduction of vasana and or elimination of vasana and elimination of papa. Elimination of punya also along with papa. You see, do not go through this. Punya I will keep, sir. Only papa I am going to reject. It won't work. Like I said, either you say zero or you say infinite. Division not possible. Either you accept both punya and papa or reject both. Accepting both will be very nice to hear, but impossible to practice. When I say impossible, impossible to everyone in the world, no exception. You see, accepting everything, but it will look fantastic to hear. Just accept. Whatever comes, just accept. You give one slap on your face. Accept. Why all that? Body law not necessary. Your car, one mark I'll put. Accept it, no? New car, one mark. What happens? Mark aicha? Because he got a new car. I inaugurated the mark. He asked me to inaugurate. I said, yeah. What is the first thing you are supposed to do? I said, I'll inaugurate it. Why? Accept no. See, people have got heart attack. They can't digest good news than bad news. You know that? We think only bad news is possible for us to work. Good is far more complex than to just accept. You see, someone talking ill about you is very easy because you can rationalize. When someone praises you, impossible. Accepting la no chance. What Vedanta says is reject. Parityagi. That's why you say tyaga, renounce. But today, we have a greed. You are carrying the fundamental greed in you, and there are people who come and speak, accept. Fits perfect. Made for each other. Accept, sir. He only speaks of acceptance is the philosophy of life. Rejection will frustrate you. Rejection is not correct. Accept. Renunciation. What renunciation? Detachment. And you do not know the difference between detachment and indifference. All those who criticize detachment, they are not talking about detachment, they are talking about description of indifference. The description of indifference is ascribed on detachment and said, criticized by everyone. Read. You don't have to accept what I say. Find out. So scriptures, Vedanta says, look here, either you have two choices, accept everything or reject. Rejection will look painful, will look difficult, but possible. Acceptance will look sensible, pleasant, impossible. Choice is yours. Blue pill, red pill. That's all. You go this side, that's where you find all those who have been advocates of acceptance. Were they able to produce one Mahatma? The school of acceptance. Could they produce one Mahatma out of that? One towering personality. One person. Next, he or she, okay, or it. Because nowadays, this is another problem now. How to address they. Adu problem. X problem, Y problem, Z problem. Something. Accept, reject. Yes.
Was Christ example for acceptance?
No, don't worry about examples. Don't, try to bracket a person in that category. Look at the teaching. Don't look at the teacher. Does Christ spoke about acceptance? That we can discuss. Then I will ask, where did he say acceptance? Did he teach acceptance? That is a quick question. Even if you say, yes, sir, he is. Following that, who has achieved? Who had come out as a great man? But this side, I can give you example after example after example after example after example I can show. From detachment and renunciation. From Buddha to Mahavira to Ramatirtha to Vivekananda to Ramakrishna to Ramana, I can go on adding. You want in the old or you want in the contemporary or middle. I can show examples here. So many of them. This side. At least from that you should understand. It is impractical, impossible. But that is also one method. Vedanta doesn't say it's not a method. That is also a method. That's why in the bhakti format, there are different types of bhaktis they will refer to. And one of the bhakti, Narada describes as Virodha bhakti. Like what Ravana had, Hiranyakashipu had, all that is what? Hiranyakashipu, according to Narada, is who? Prahalada, Hiranyakashipu. Both are enrolled for the program of bhakti. Prahalada also in Vaikuntha, Hiranyakashipu also Vaikuntha. Right? That's what Vaikuntha is. He also gets, Shishupala gets mukti. And Shishupala is treated by the scriptures as who? Bhakta. But his bhakti is of what type, sir? His bhakti is not prema swarupa. His bhakti is hatred swarupa, dvesha swarupa. That is also a form of bhakti. But can you follow that? Have you ever seen anyone recommending that? Huh? Chaitanya recommended a form of bhakti. Okay. Purandaradasa recommended another form of bhakti. Very orthodox people don't call his songs, that's called as Upanishad. The orthodox people. They say Purandaradasa's, Dasa Upanishad. They say. Purandaradasa's works, songs, Allah, they don't call it as Kritis, Sahitya. Say, Upanishad, sir. Has any one of them, Purandaradasa, Tyagaraja, has any one of them recommended that? Virodha Bhakti? But that is also a form of bhakti only, no? Then why don't you practice it? Because Virodha Bhakti has its own consequences, side effect. What comes along with that? Prema bhakti comes, what comes along with? One is you get mukti, but in the path you get something along. What is that? The path is such a pleasant one. Prema bhakti, dasya bhakti, alam possible. Saki, saka, that is also possible. All these types of bhaktis have a consequence along with that, something attached. What comes along with is soothing, very pleasant. The path is so comfortable. Virodha bhakti, the path is full of agitation. How much agitation human mind is capable of handling? It's a threshold. You see, you can manage little agitation. If it goes little more, you can, like when you take injections, cold. Some of them turn their face. You can't see it. No. They close their eyes. You have seen some of them, looking at it. I remember when Purni had to be, taken for some blood test. And she was really around 4 or 5. They were giving injection, extracting that lab here, Basangudi. They were asking her to turn that side. She says, "No, I want to see." So she was checking. They're poking in and they're extracting. She says, "Wow, so interesting, no? How blood comes out." Such weird also is there. One group. There's another group of people. Before they bring the injection, scream. I've seen someone fully grown adult, okay? A fellow, my sister's son, like a pista, the fellow took her to hospital. This fellow, she's not well. I will go with her. I said, "Lada, will come." No, I'll take care. He took that. I'm getting a call from the hospital. Sir, please come. We are admitted. I said, "What happened?" This fellow fainted. They're taking, blood test. He saw that, he fainted. Mudra. Big people are there. Each one have their own, There are fellows who met with accident, with the broken bones. They have taken auto, went to the hospital, got themselves admitted. Protruding out. He goes to the hospital. That's also there. Is physical. Right? Physical pain. There is a threshold for us to manage the physical pain. How much you can manage your mental pain is called agitation. Beyond a point, you can't manage your mental pain. You buckle. Then your bhakti is no longer ananya. It should be ananya bhakti. So once you have taken virodha, once you have started treating him as your enemy, no matter what happens, you will treat him as enemy only. You will not buckle. Ada virodha bhakti. Can you do that? But that's also is accepted as one of the forms of bhakti. See, so here the system is so open, it accepts things, possibilities. But then it says, is it practical or not? It is doable or not? Acceptance philosophy is fantastic to listen, very pleasant, but not doable. Renunciation is bitter to listen, frustrating, but doable. Reject punya, papa, vasana. All that. That's not spiritual. It deals only with imperceptible. That their problem is not perceptible. They may say a few things about perceptible also, in between, a few things here and there. Allah is not essential part. Essential part of the Shastra deals with imperceptible. What you do with imperceptible, sir, wipe out that imperceptible. To wipe out the imperceptible, starting point is what? Start from wiping out your papa. Then build punya. Build punya. Build punya. Build punya. Build sufficient quantum of punya. Then exchange that punya for a guru. That's why people ask, I want to know who is the best guru. Say, wait. Because when you have accepted someone as guru, that means you have offered all your punya already. Exchange. So you give rupees and take dollars, no? Or pounds, whatever. Exchange of kurtachi. You give your punya to get guru. With him, what comes? Teaching comes, knowledge comes. With that knowledge, what you do? Wipe off your vasana. With your effort, eliminate papa. With your effort, gather punya. Ella karma. Karma kanda portion. Then what you do? All accumulated punya, you have a choice now. What? Cash it, enjoy. Or exchange it for jnanam. I'll offer all this, give me jnanam. When you get that jnanam, what happens? Your ignorance goes off. See, then what happens now? All adrishta taken out. That is spiritual enlightenment. See you next class.